Hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Mitchell Belfer. I'm the president of the Eurogulf Information Center here in Rome, Italy. Welcome to our next segment of our video commentary series that deals with some of the more recent and unfolding issues related to the Eurogulf space and Eurogulf political engagement. Today, I would like just to address the very important speech that was delivered by President Macron, in which sanctions were reasserted on the Islamic Republic of Iran. I think I would like to discuss a little bit as to why sanctions and why Iran, especially given the fact that for the most part, Iran has lived up to its end of the bargain in relation to the nuclear deal. The reason for it is, first, not all sanctions were in relation to the nuclear program itself. And while it's true that the Islamic Republic has certainly reduced its nuclear science research into how to build a nuclear facility and to enrich uranium, it has not fulfilled other parts of the agreement. For example, the ballistics. And one of the main features of the Islamic Republic today is its research and development into ballistic missiles. Now, those missiles are being used also in a way that is undermining regional and even in some ways trans-regional security. The Houthis in Yemen, the Hezbollah units, for example, in Lebanon and operationally in Syria, and further afield into this chaotic region around the Sahel, are increasingly using Iranian missiles and other forms of ballistics to attack their adversaries. And so this is having a destabilizing factor in general. So the reassertion of these sanctions is a way of signaling to Tehran that its use of, or its violation of the nuclear agreement in relation to the ballistics clauses is unacceptable, and so sanctions will stay in place in that regard. The other sanctions, of course, are in relation to the human rights situation in Iran. Iran is the country that executes the largest amount of people per year. There are charges, if you look into depth at what people are hung for, and I have to say this is the modus operandi of the Iranian regime when it comes to executing people. It's still done in public, and it's a public hanging. Usually a crane comes and basically picks people up by their necks, and it's a very grotesque practice. Of course, capital punishment in general is something that is hotly debated, but in Iran it's used for everything from witchcraft straight through to anti-regime behaviors. So it's very important that in actual numbers Iran executes much more than even China, and that says quite a lot. Now, on that note, it's also quite important, and I think as a last point for today's commentary, is about the support for really nefarious terrorist organizations that are dotting up all over the Middle East, and that's really from Hezbollah to the PMUs in Iraq, as well as to the different fronts that you see, the Hezbollah Bahrain or the Sacred Defense Bahrain. If you look at Saudi Arabia and the eastern provinces, if you look in the Yemen and the Houthi militia, but also if you start to look a little bit further afield, you've had cells uncovered in Bulgaria, you've had cells uncovered in Germany, you've had cells uncovered in Georgia and in India. And so I think there's a clearer message being sent from Europe, and although it could also be even clearer than it is now, the maintenance of the sanctions regime against Tehran should be sending a signal to Tehran and to the Ayatollah that these kind of behaviors are unacceptable. So join us again for the next session in a fortnight's time. Thank you.